Hello, and welcome to Commendable Commotion, where the arts and true crime intersect. Today, we take a look at an area of the arts which I personally love: filmmaking. I recently had a bombastic roller coaster of a conversation with a man from Tennessee named William Wilky Fain. But most people just call him Wilky. He's a filmmaker who's been at the helm of several movies, including a baseball film titled Wombats and a drama called A Father's Rights. Wilkie has extensive knowledge of the logistics of filmmaking, and in this conversation, you'll hear a lot of his advice for filmmakers in all aspects of production. During the conversation, I also briefly talk about my own upcoming film, a documentary called Mothman, the film that never was. You'll be hearing a lot more about that documentary soon because it is nearing completion. But anyway, without further ado, please sit back and let your brain be caffeinated by this Concordian rocket of an interview.
In this industry, there's certain rules. And the first rule is contacts, contacts, contacts.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be always somebody that's better at it than you. Somebody always knows somebody higher up than you think you are. And so I learned a long time ago, if you're going to do something, find the person that's doing it better than you and emulate them. Don't find somebody equal to you. You're just treading water. You're not inquisitive enough. And the producers and people in our business that make it are those people who are striving to get better every single freaking day. One of the best actors I've ever worked with is Russell Sams. Been in a lot of TV movies, HBO and stuff. 41, looks like he's 16. I don't know how the creep does it. He just stayed up here a couple weeks ago. But he been a SAG actor and been in films with all the big name actors. And yet he still teaches workshops and takes acting workshops.
Huh.
The thing is, it's like, forget me, I got lucky. I had Hal and Ditsy and Hollywood after me, so I'm the anomaly of this thing. But most people, if I took Matthew and I set you down anywhere in the world and you watched him build a wooden house, they finished it and you watched him build another one, you'd know how to do it. You'd have the knowledge. You wouldn't have the physical capability of doing it. So you can show people how to do this stuff, how to edit stuff, how to go. But until they do it themselves and mess up, you're going to lose more than you win.
Yeah.
But losing doesn't mean you lost.
Exactly.
It means that you learned something. Okay? And in our business, when I say contacts, the person who my contact out in LA, she just passed away a few years ago, was Renee Valente. Renee Valente was a little old lady, and I've said this in front of her. She's passed away now. She knows I love her. She lived on Mulholland Drive. She won Emmys and Oscars and stuff. She was the first female producer of the Producers Union in LA history in the 70s. But she was older. She got Burt Reynolds started, Anthony Hopkins started, stuff like that. I took my nephew out to meet her one year. I had a meeting with some people, and I said, Renee, I'm flying out. Let's do lunch. So she said, okay. So we met at Beverly Hills Hotel, went down to Polo Lounge. I take my son, it's not my son-in-law, but Renee agreed to meet with me and my former nephew. He's 25, tall, good looking. He plays the pitcher. He plays one of the pitchers in our Wombat movies.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he'd been trying to make it, couldn't get his foot in the door. So I take him out there and I say, this is Renee. And we're sitting there and she's 4 foot nothing, red hair, smokes cigarettes this long, and she walks in Beverly Hills Hotel and the water's parked, because everybody knows her. She walks in, she sits down, and she sounds like this when she talks. So she turns to Matt, his name is Blake, but she turns back and goes, Matt, you sure are handsome, young man. So you trying to get into acting? Tell me all about it. Really? Well, I'll have to set you up to meetings. Now, are we allowed to use any kind of language here?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, this is exactly how she said it. She turns to me and goes, Wilkie, I watched that last shot you took, and who do you think you are as a director? That fucking camera was up here. You should have had it down here, and you can't do a 360 till you establish this shot. I don't know who fucking taught you how to use a fucking camera. And Matt, by the way, I know a guy who could be your manager here and also help you out in Tennessee where you live. And this went on for about 15, 20 minutes, and she'd say, oh, you was sweet as, and she was just ripping me and you. And she then says, well, instead of eating here, why don't we go up to my house and let's have my cooked spaghetti? I said, great, let's do it. So she walks out, and I pay our tab there, and Blake's walking with me, and he's got a stunned look on his face. They go with my car and bring her around. We sit down. He looked at me and said, "You're going to go eat with her after the way she talked to you." I said, "Why? What'd she do?" "She was cussing you and that." No, 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 no. You heard cussing. You heard her getting down on me. I heard her telling me how to get better.
Yeah.
This lady shot around the world in 80 days. She worked with Pierce Bronson, Anthony Hopkins, Burt Reynolds. You think I'm not going to listen to her on my camera angles and camera shots and my scripts and my actors and my SAG? She knows more than most people will ever forget. She is one of the powerhouses in Hollywood. I'm not going to listen to her. She loves me to death. It's just that you always love the teacher in school that was the hardest on you. If a teacher's not hard on you, you're not learning nothing. When they pat you on the back and tell you how nice you're, "Oh, that's a good job, Wilkie, on those cameras," because I don't want to hurt your feelings, what I learned. Probably a bad habit.
Right. Yeah.
Find people better than you that will be honest with you. And she would have done that in public, let's say on a set. She would call me back in a room somewhere. She always called me Quentin Tarantino Jr. because that's who I always watch camera shots and stuff off of.
Yeah.
Quentin did something in Inglourious Basterds you ain't supposed to do, and now it's common. I did it, I was wrong. And when I brought that up, she goes, "Yeah, but you're not fucking Quentin Tarantino Jr." So, I loved it. So my advice to people is that, and learn how to use the industry tools that you're given. SAG is one of the worst tools, but it's a necessary tool. Our world is changing on production value, how you get stuff out there, how do you get product out there. We're going to unveil something Monday that's along an animation line. It's a Christian comic book that it's really almost PG, almost rated R. It's PG-17, but it's based on a character that we've developed over 10 years, and we've worked with some of the best artists in America. And but you have to get out there and get investors and stuff, And
Yeah.
the problem you'll find in filming is I had never dealt with SAG, for example, Screen Actors Guild. If you want certain actors in your film or your TV project, you have to deal with SAG-AFTRA. I think they're on the way out. They've merged. I predicted that several years ago when they hated each other, and now only 1% of them make any money. They say one of their selling points is, "Matt, if you're going to do this, why don't you sign up with SAG because you get better actors, better experienced actors?" No, you don't. You can get a big name actor, but Matt, I could take you to New Orleans right now. They can be shooting a Nicolas Cage movie. I know everybody on the set. I can walk you over there and say, "Hey, look, y'all need somebody to be a doorman. Put Matt in there." They can put you in a doorman's outfit, no experience. And you say, "Oh, welcome to Hotel Florentine." You right there qualified for SAG card. You got any experience? You got any knowledge that's going to help me? Nope. Unions are the worst thing that's happened to film right now. It's killing us. It's killed the base of everything. The indie world has taken over since 2005. It's just been slowly going up. The cost of everything of making stuff is because of the union. It never goes down. You can deal, and I'll use Brad Pitt as an example. You go to Brad Pitt and they go, "Well, look, he's $20 million a film because of his face and his name." I say, "Okay, I ain't got no problem with that." What if he don't do that? Well, that's not our fault. And here's the problem. As an indie producer, and I think that's who you reach the most. I did a lot of research. It's like me, you're going to reach a lot of indie people. Well, as an indie producer, director, this is the questions I asked SAG when I got in business. Why does that actor get residuals? What if my makeup artist doesn't show up? And what if my costume guy doesn't work? And that's who helps the actor look good and get everything ready. It ain't all the actor doing this, but nobody else gets residuals but the actor. Nobody gets that Golden Globe but that actor. Directors, people like, you don't see the makeup artists and this and that, and all the support people getting extra money. You got to pay Brad Pitt into perpetuity when that movie's shown. Father's Rights was the problem with Father's Rights is this. There's a couple problems we had there. Father's Rights we started on it like 2003, 2004 with Dixie. It hit right in a transition period where HD high definition film was coming out.
Yeah.
Well, when we got ready to shoot, we had to either rent a big regular camera that shot standard def, $28,000 for 27 days rent, and probably another $12,000-13,000 on lenses and support packages. Oh, if we went on at that time, an HD camera, which it wasn't maybe two in the state, was about $55,000, $75,000 for the entire package, and then the cost went up because let's do it this way. Anybody in film knows the standard def file, let's say it's this big, if you had to stack it up, HD is this big. So that means your storage area had to be bigger. You had to have all this extra equipment to store shots. So if you do 7 takes of something, then you got a lot of extra footage. You better have a couple terabytes of stuff sitting there. And then you got, as a producer director, you got to watch every second of that. You don't know what second in that 1 minute you may use 4 seconds there. So you're going, and it took special editing programs. So the cost then, I think we spent $275,000 total, maybe $300 total on Father's Rights. To go HD, it was going to be a little over $700,000.
Yeah.
Now it's come down quite a bit. It's kind of switched. There, you can edit it a lot better and stuff like that. But dealing with SAG in that project, once we signed the contract, it took me 6 months to be approved. I wanted to release it online. No one had ever shown a movie online. This was brand new in 2004. I was working with, I did a project with 2 actors out of Hollywood for HBO, and we did a test project, and they used my company. And it went over well. I thought, why don't somebody do this on the internet? Why can't you just push a button and go worldwide? No one had done that. Now it's common. So SAG said, we don't have contracts for that. So well, you better develop one. That's what's coming up. Well, 6 months later, I get approved. I sign all my actors. I had a bunch of SAG actors in Father's Rights. And they get minimum pay and all this kind of stuff. You got to treat them different, blah, blah, blah. And we've got an A rating. I always follow the rules. But today we got ready to start, they called up and asked for like a $5,000 donation to their healthcare fund. What? Excuse me, do what? What? Why are you calling me? Because you pay your fees up front. You have to guess what you're going to pay all the actors. And at that time, I think it was 14.5% of that amount. I have to overnight to SAG in a cashier's check, take a picture of the package, give them the FedEx number, and overnight it to them. So they had my money already. Now, so I had to make the $5,000 donation, or they're going to pull my contract. So I make the $5,000 donation. Don't know where it went. Then when we got done, one of the actors had gotten sick and quit, so I had some money coming back. It took me 8 months to get my money back. We did the Wombats movie, which was a lot more expensive. Had SAG on it. Russell's in it. He plays center. He plays the comedian. He's the funny one with all the toys and stuff.
Yeah.
Deal, who's a friend of mine, a bunch of them with that. That SAG deal was at 15.7%. We paid it, and I was supposed to direct it. And about 2 days prior to that, I had Chris Blanton on there, one of the most talented young men I've ever worked with. Yeah. I want you to direct this, Chris, because something's telling me something's wrong. So I got with my UPM. I said, David, something's wrong. They let us get halfway through that day, and all those SAG actors run around. We had 42 people in the crew, cameras everywhere. They called, wanted a $10,000 donation to their healthcare fund. I hit the roof. I had to let David take care of it. So it's a necessary evil. If you're going to have a good name, there's 2 ways for your people out there to learn to avoid SAG. Now, never piss them off. You get blackballed by SAG, you might as well just, because even if you just deal in the indie world, they can shut you down. Theaters don't own their screens. Hollywood tells them what movies they can show on every screen. They call it and go, hey, look, I've got this thing called Titanic. We want it on screen A. Oh, really? Then Hollywood calls back and goes, well, we'll let you have it, but you got to run on screen B this, screen C this, and screen D is this little Matthew film we bought out of Belgium, whatever, or Germany or wherever, and we want it. And they check it. They send people around the studios to check, or theater to check it. So they can fix it. Well, you ain't nobody going to see your damn movie. Now the internet is giving us a way around it. You create your own channel, YouTube, different things, show your movies. You can even get paid for it directly. That's why theaters are going to be gone. Why do you think, and I predicted this, it's starting to happen on TV and the science cut, why did Disney pull back all their Disney films and products that they own, Star Wars or whatever all those things are they got? They pull them out. You should get it on HBO show. Why? Because those channels would pay Disney, let's say $10 for that movie for 6 months. Disney only got half that amount because HBO had to make money, agents had to make money. It dwindles down.
Yeah.
But if Paramount Plus or Disney Plus shows it, it's 100%. Why do you need a theater to release a $100 million movie? You can release it with a push of that button right there. And this screen right here is HD. Beautiful picture. I can sit right here and watch it for $10.99 instead of going and spending $25 on. Everybody wants my popcorn and Coke so much. The theaters don't get to keep their ticket money.
Yeah.
$1 off.
It kind of reminds me of like one of the things I came across when I was on your website, the archive of your website, it was
Yeah,
grassroots filmmaking. It said, we are William Fain Productions. We're a grassroots filmmaking company. I love that, grassroots filmmaking. I just
yeah.
think that's so inspirational and so, sort of. Do you like? I mean, did you ever have any moments when you were trying that approach for the first time, or even when you were making developed films like Wombats and A Father's Rights, where it got really tough? Like, you've already mentioned a couple of examples there, I know, but I mean, do you ever really kind of feel like, sort of, oh my gosh, this is like guerrilla filmmaking. How do I survive this? And you had to like really trudge through that kind of thing. It sounds like you've had a fair few of
Yeah,
those.
every indie producer has been through it because when you do a project, I've always told students I'm talking to at a college, the wheels turn. You got and each one of these wheels costs you money. You got actors, but you know what you're going to pay them. You got crew, and you got rental equipment, all that stuff. Well, if you have to go an extra 4 or 5 days, this is more money. I mean, and once you say go, that money starts getting spent.
Yeah.
So if you get shut down for 2 or 3 days, you're still paying that crew. They get paid whether they work or not. Actor don't. And you have to go to them and say, Matt, I was going to book you for 7 days, and then we got this tornado hit. Well, and most of them will work with you. I've only met a few peckerheads in the business. But and you don't have extra funds as an indie because you struggle to feed people. The best way to do is go to the community and ask, hey, you donate this, we donate that. Where a studio has money to blow. And a
Exactly.
lot of times, you've got a pretty good project, you can get money from a studio if they're needing tax write-off. Now, right now, they're losing so much money, they don't need no tax write-offs. But I'll give you an example. I was on the set with Jack Black on year one. It was hilarious to watch it. It bombed on movie screen. But they actually bought a 10 acres island down in Louisiana in Shreveport and built a city of. If I'd blindfolded you and took you in there, you thought you was back in Bible days. I mean, everybody had dressed that way, crew and everybody. Unbelievable. And they spent $100 and something million and lost their ass. But they we are careful who walks up on our set and starts eating our snacks and food and craft service and stuff. There was people walking by there eating lunch with people and picking up apples and candy because you got tables sitting everywhere and buildings for food. You just keep food and water out everywhere. That's by contract. So under a independent person, if I did that, I'd go broke. I don't my budget's tight. Now I always throw in $10,000 for something, but you always end up spending it. Wombats was probably the only one is the exception. I think when we got done, they called me up and I said, we're known for throwing the best rap parties in the business. So, because I feel like, you work 6 days, you're off a day. This is our schedule. 6 days on, 1 day off, 6 days on, 2 days off. Now, very few people do that. Then we go 6-1 till we finish. Because when you start a movie and you got to grind because you like you're saying, you're going to be in those trenches, everybody's happy. Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to work together to really shoot. By the 7th day, they're cussing you. You're Satan. I can't believe I signed up for this crap.
Yeah.
So I had that extra day off, and I usually have a little party at the house or something. Everybody come out. We all want, and then it kind of recharges the batteries.
Sure.
Because I know the rough part of the shoot's coming up. The best thing to do is on the first couple of days, get your hardest parts done. Get your hardest shoots done the first 3 or 4 days. Now, we had $5,000 left in our budget. So I cashed it out, took $5,000 cash to a local bar in Knoxville. I said, close the doors. It's $5,000. Let them have whatever they want. And we all partied and had a great time. Everybody, the producer gets gifts from everybody, and we just had a blast. And they're brothers and sisters for life.
Yeah.
You become a family. You really do. And that's why, Matt, if you are an independent producer, I don't care if you're in Ireland or England or anywhere, and you're guerrilla shooting and you're independent and you're doing stuff and you're hiring people, one of the first things you tell your people, it's always my number 2 because I've got some number 3. But one of the things you want to tell your people is if you got something negative to say about somebody else, don't say it because you don't know that when you say something about Matt, somebody that his uncle ain't John Doe, who looks into Jane Doe, who's the producer.
Exactly.
We live in a small family. This is a small group. It ain't very big. There's hardly anybody in Hollywood I can't put you in touch with. Not because they're friends of mine, just because we've done business with them, sit at lunches with them, I know them, whatever, So don't do that, and set that ground rule up front. And then also, The machine is what we call it. Independent producers refer to their crew as the machine. When I did Father's Rights and I had that money, I had trouble getting started. And Hal Holbrook was sitting around the pool and I said, "How I'm just having trouble." He said, "Look, let me tell you something. This has stuck with me." He said, "You're the producer. You're God in our industry." He said, "If you have to piss Matt off, you piss him off and punch him in the nose." He said, "He'll be the first one to ask you for a job next time you got $3 million for a project." You go in there like you're God. You don't go in and ask him to do something. Say, "Here's what we're going to do. This is what I expect. Who's going to go on the trip with me?" He said, "Your machine is your crew. Decide to spend your money behind the camera in certain spots. It doesn't do you any good to have Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, or whoever out front of the camera if these people don't know what they're doing shooting them. If I hired your neighbor to shoot Brad Pitt, so what? I got Brad Pitt on camera. The angles ain't going to be right. They can't pull focus. They can't fix all that stuff. They can't see that zebra. They can't see the zebra lines. They don't know that hot spot over there. They don't know how to gel windows. They don't know how to do any of this stuff. So I spent my money on DP, key grip, electric, makeup, and wardrobe.
There you
And
go.
script super. Script super. Very important. Script super.
Yeah.
In the world. And what I went to them is, because it's also our business in the indie world, even guerrilla shooting is chain of command. If Matt's a producer, you can't handle 47 problems. So what I do is I bring my keys together, your DP, your key people, and I say, "Guys, listen, we're supposed to make this movie. Matt, you're my director of photography, and you got a budget of $50,000. You hire whoever you want. You tell Dave what kind of equipment you want. You tell him whatever you need. He's going to take care of you. I don't want to know who you hire. I don't give a shit. That person don't answer to me. You answer to me. They answer to you. Now, what have I just done? The DP appreciates that. He's hiring who he wants, who he knows, and he knows they can't go over his head if they don't like something. Because my rule is, if you talk to people, you follow the chain of command. Talk to your DP first. If you work for him, if he can't satisfy it, you go to my UPM, my unit production manager, and you talk to him. David is just like talking to me. And if it's something real serious and they can't handle it, you come to me.
Perfect.
And so you got to have that chain of command. And feeding the machine means taking care of those people behind the camera. And you make your keys happy. You put them up in good rooms. You feed them good. You have to provide everybody 2 meals a day, but you provide them sometimes. "Hey guys, I'm taking y'all out to eat something. Where y'all want to go?" You kind of sneak that into the budget because extras eat cold pizza, boxes, cat litter. I don't care what they eat. But my keys and my crew are going to eat good, and my keys are going to eat extremely good. And so, and when the keys come in, I say, "Matt, you're my DP. This is a key meeting, and it's going to be a key dinner. But invite 2 of your members with you. That way, you're bringing your assistant with you, and it builds camaraderie through you to us. Loyalty. They remember how you treated them." And so I always would surprise people. I'm giving away one of my secrets here. That second week you're having trouble and stuff, and you're really pushing and grinding. Let me tell you, if you got an assistant director, when you finish and everybody likes them, you got a bad assistant director. Your assistant director is a potent, buddy. Come on, run late, guys. Come on, go.
Yeah.
Caroline O'Brien was oh my God, she'd kill you if you was on, wasn't it? We got to get Wilky. You get out of the way. You're backing me up, you know. So when that happens and you build that camaraderie, and I go on the second week, I go, "Okay, guys, we're having trouble with the actors acting. Y'all pick what we're having for lunch today." Now, I always had everything catered and crafted, but about once or twice a week, I take everybody out to eat. We're going to let the actors eat on set, and I'm taking y'all out to eat. Now, where y'all want to go? You want steak? You want pizza? You want Chinese? What do you want? And instead of last man standing or last man, we're going to call it 1 hour. Because see, through lunch, by contract, you have to wait till the last SAG actor comes through and the last union person comes through. And you holler, last man. From that point, you got 30-minute lunch. So if Matt's my last guy coming through and I still got 15 people, let's say you're Brad Pitt, the SAG actor. Once those SAG people and all the union people go through the line, 30-minute lunch from that point on. So if the line is there and you're 15, 20 people back, those next people better be moving or you ain't going to be eating. We take a 30-minute lunch. That's it. SAG people first, crew, boom, that's it.
I guess it kind of does seem like a machine when you really get into the nitty-gritty of it, doesn't it? Yeah.
And when you're guerrilla shooting, the best thing you can do, and people skimp on guerrilla shooting, but you can actually save money spending money.
Yeah.
Number one, learn the lesson of filming your film, shooting your shot, and scouting before the camera's ever turned on. You don't need a camera to shoot this film. I saw your Blair Witch Project. You go to the park, Montgomery Bell down the road here, you go there. You say, "Guys, we're going to shoot here. We're going to come down this way right here." And you have your UPM and your script super and your director of photography, just your key people. And if it's a guerrilla shoot, you might not have 3 people with you doing 2 jobs. But you have your UPM. Find somebody that's your unit production manager. He's drawing a map as you go, okay? We're going to mark this tree with some purple paint right here. I want camera right here so that when they run by this way, we see this over here. This is a camera. Everybody's got two of them. Everybody understands. That's what I do when I give my speeches. So the camera's pointing down this way. Then the other thing is, since we don't want to have to reset everything and relight everything, we're going to reverse the camera on this side of the tree and run you back this way because we haven't seen this back here. This is behind the line. Now we're going to cross the line on this side without crossing the line. And because that can sink you in a festival. If you cross the line, you're done. Your movie's shit. You cross the line. Do you know what that means?
It means it's cross the line.
Cross the line. Yeah. And every independent producer and director needs to know this. And I find out this is not taught very much in film school.
Yeah.
But the no to get you kicked out of festivals is crossing the line. One of the first things. Crossing the line is your face is the camera right now facing me.
Yeah.
And you're going to film me talking to this Coke can. How you doing, Mr. Coke? Blah, blah, blah. And you're going to get the establishing two shot.
Uh-huh.
Called.
Yep.
All right. Now, when you get ready to get my reaction, you have to do the whole thing again, right?
Yep.
You 2 good takes this way. You're going to go over the shoulder and back at my face to get my reaction. But you got to go over this right shoulder.
Aha.
When you shoot me to get this guy's reaction, you got to go over my right shoulder that way. You can never show back here because that don't exist.
It doesn't exist, exactly.
You can't cross that line. That's why a 360 shot's hard to set up when you see these people doing it on 24 and everything. They have to be established platforms for it. There's rules that you follow that DPs know, professionals that they've learned. Now, we've started cracking that code a little bit because nothing is off limits. Always be creative. Try it. See if it works.
Do you think the creative and business side of filmmaking, then, it sounds like, they can mingle quite well at the end of the day, hopefully. So, yeah, I mean, The
reason a producer is so important, it's funny because they'll ask actors what a producer is. I don't know. Well, it's show business. They're in the show world. We're in the business world.
Yeah.
I have sat with a very top actor that you would know. I'll say his name, Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
Michael Douglas and me had the same rep out there, and I just so happened he was in an office today. He didn't come to meet me. I just happened to be there. And we was talking artwork and everything. He leaned across me. I said, well, that movie ain't gonna make no money. He said, look, what we do is not about making money. It's about the artwork. I said, if I told my investors that, I wouldn't have any money. I said, Mr. Douglas, with all due respect, if you finance your next movie for $50 million, do you want to make money or do you just want to well, that's what the studios are here for. Yeah, but they got investors. They think that the art, because they're very, they're very liberal.
Right.
Often very liberal. And they think this art world. I argue with them. They get mad at me. Paul Glacier, who's the original Starsky Hutch, is my friend.
Yeah.
He's as left wing as they go. We fight when we talk like that. He's been to my premieres. You probably seen him on my pages and stuff.
Yeah.
He said, we was talking about the cost of all this stuff. And he said, look, when I do stuff like this, he said, I don't expect it to make money. I expect it just to be the art. And he said, we have to tell an actor portrays the truth. I said, no, they don't. An actor portrays a lie.
Exactly.
I like Tim Roth, Liam Neeson. I think Daniel Day-Lewis is the best actor on the planet. But you take these people and they're trying to convince you that there's somebody else living in some other world and living somebody else's life. That's not true. No. They're being true to their character, but they're lying to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can't say that's what, and they get so mad when you say that, you won't find one of them that's on the left. Oh my God. And so but I enjoy it. I do it in play. Okay.
Yeah.
The big thing about our indie world is we can experiment. And the biggest thing is don't fear it. Don't fear it. I knew nothing going in this. I didn't know what a script looked like. I didn't know how to turn a camera on. Nothing. But I've never been one to let something stop me. I've always liked a challenge. And when I got into it, it was so creative. What we do, don't look at it as a script, a project, a movie. It's a cake. It's a cake. It's a big 3-layer cake with icing and candles and whole 9 yards. And if Matt forgets to put the eggs in it, it tastes like shit. If he gets to put the flour in it, it's going to be this style. If they don't put the right icing on it, it's just going to be it. So a film is layers. You don't believe me, take your favorite film, turn all your sound off and just watch it. You don't get the same feeling. Add just the voices with the film. You still don't get the same feeling. There's another layer of background sound, foliage that we add. You can watch, I've had people watch something, I go, watch this clip and tell me what you think. The students. They describe that clip, and the guy sends up and says, oh, well, he had his dog with him and blah, blah, blah. And I said, really? Let me watch this again. Did y'all see a dog anywhere? Well, you heard him. He wasn't on film. You heard him. We added that in after we edited in the editing bay.
There you go.
We got a 1955 for a truck backfiring. So be creative. Don't just shoot it. Think about living in that world that day. Blair's Witch Project. What are you hearing in those woods? What are you seeing? What are you looking at? What do you want them to feel? And then the best thing you can do as a producer director is learn how to pull Matt into your film, get him active. And there's the secret I learned was we worked on a film called Butterfly, and it's about abortion. And it's a lady, this wife gets an abortion. This is the middle of the film. She gets an abortion. It's a very emotional project, and she has not told the husband yet. Well, he finds out about it, and when she comes in, she's beautiful. There's some scenes on my page, and she tells him, and as she starts to tell him, the camera pulls way up high, and that's when I did my first 360 in that film, and I had real light, sad music come over it. And you see her crying, and she's talking, and he's talking, and I noticed everybody when I touched it, they were doing this. They're watching these characters. And they walked out. I said, "What'd she say?" Well, she was complaining or trying to ask him to forgive her. She wasn't saying anything out loud. They didn't hear it, but it pulled Matt into there, and she's watching, going, because you know what they're saying. They're both crying. He loves her. She loves him. She didn't want an abortion. She thought it would help her career, and he's a preacher, and he can't believe you did this. You're hearing all this, and I got some music going. Pull your viewer into your film. Any of us can go out here and make, and I've done it, zombie movies or throw blood and guts at it or whatever. We can all do that. And that's nothing wrong with that. You can learn from all that. But if you want to become a truly independent producer director and have a project you can be proud of, film it, shoot it, edit it on paper before you ever leave to get a camera.
Exactly.
And that thing includes a storyboard, what kind of camera you're going to use, what kind of lenses you need. Plan out every day so that you get your daily reports, days of days, DODs. You're going to do this, you're going to do that, and you deliver that to your actors and crew every night. You treat them with respect, but you treat them as a general. You want loyalty. You don't care if they like it or not. You want a job done. And when it gets done, you thank them profusely. And you go back from there. Treat everybody with kindness,
Yeah.
Even some of the we work with.
Exactly. So kill them with kindness, but in a good way. Yeah. I get you. I get what you mean. The speaking of layers and different people each having their own bit to play, there were two people who had a significant bit to play in the making of Wombats, and I was watching a video about this. It was really interesting. It was an interview with them. Curtis Willis.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What's this going to be?
Curtis Willis being interviewed on you probably I think you uploaded it, and Curtis Willis and Rock Hurst and how they came together. I think to write the Wombats, and then obviously you produced it, and I just thought it was so inspirational how you guys all came together to make this thing. It wasn't just one brain behind it; it was more than one brain.
Not really. Have you spoken with those guys yet?
No, never spoken. No.
You should. I need to put you in touch with Kurt.
Awesome.
What they did was something like what you said. It's amazing. I had just finished The Father's Rights. We had a big premiere at a theater, and we had a bunch of people coming. I mean, I had a bunch of people from Hollywood come out, and it was made national news. And David Soul Hutch flew in from London, so I had Starsky and Hutch back together for the first time in years. So well, Belinda Daniels, who used to date Rock Hurst, and Rock and Kurt are best friends, knew me. And she said, "I got this funny script I want you to read." And I said, "Really?" And this had never happened, and it happened since either. I stay in a hotel in Middle Tennessee, and she hands me the script. So I go back, and I had my door open. I'm sitting there probably drinking a Mai Tai margarita or something. And Matt, I'm reading this script, and I'm literally got tears running out of my eyes. I'm laughing so hard. And I read it 2 or 3 times. I know people that walked by my door thought I was crazy. I went back to them and said, "I'll help them. I got some conditions, but I'll help them." So they travel to me. And I said, "Tell you what, I'll help you raise your money, and I'll produce it." I created the role of the midget that's in that thing.
Yeah.
So if you watch it, the little hammer guy, midget, I created him. And then Tony, the guy with the blonde hair, runs around a jock strap all the time, I created him.
Yeah.
They had him in the script, but I changed him from being a good old Tennessee boy to being from Hawaii and having blonde hair and kind of, big. But I knew him. He was the stunt coordinator on my first movie. He's an ex-WWF wrestler, Jason Benjamin. And I said, "Jason, you're going to have 2 uniforms. You're going to either be in a baseball uniform or your jock strap. That's it." The whole movie. He loved it. So they added all that in there. But Kurt wrote 99% of that stuff. And so we wrote it, or he wrote it, and we got introduced. I said, "Well, let's see if we can make it." Well, here we are getting ready to make it. And the history of this thing was they thought that, like everybody else, oh, I can do this. They went out and rented some cameras from Rent-A-Center or wherever they got these little pieces of junk, and they were shooting scenes over Knox Point, just like you would with your mom and dad. Come by in a car. It looked, oh my God. We laugh at it all the time. And I said, you can't do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. So I raised the money for them. And we got together and we pulled it off. My deal with them was Kurt wanted to play Kurt.
Yeah.
Rock wanted to play Rock, but they had never been in anything in their life. And I said, I'm going to bring in my acting coach, who is a nationally renowned actress. Been in it business. She's been in every TV show since the 70s. You would know if I said her name, but she's very private now because she's going through cancer.
Oh.
And they got to be friends with her, and I made them take acting classes. I said, you got to pass me. I'm going to cash you. Kurt came in and did a bang-up job. I mean, I can't believe how much better he got. Kurt did a really good job on film.
Yeah.
And he's going to do a lot of things with channels in these. He's actually the de facto film commissioner over there now.
Oh, wow. Gee, wow.
Yeah. And got Burt Reynolds in his last film.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's that last film Burt Reynolds made, the last Hollywood star. That was Kurt. Yeah, he got all that done.
Genius.
And Rock, I think, went through the project. And, you know, Rock's this big, lovable guy. You've seen him. He's like a big football tight end.
Yeah.
He's Rock. What can I say? So we let him do it anyway. And we played jokes on it. We had more fun on that set with like Russell Sams and people like that. But we came together, and I think Kurt say it's the best crew he's ever seen. We brought some people from North Carolina, Smoky Mountain Boys. I had a crew. But we had 47 people just in the crew. There was days I had 800 people on the set.
Yeah.
Baseball scenes and stuff.
Exactly.
And City of Knoxville helped out tremendously. And it was a long shoot, 30-something days, I can't remember. And we just had a blast. And we wrapped up and had some problems afterwards because of people in Hollywood trying to get involved. And when you have people like me on your team, but then you have somebody come from a Hollywood office who's got an office address there. Oh, and we've done this, and they got this big website. That don't mean shit to me.
Yeah.
I got in Hollywood and stayed in Hollywood because I never lied to Howard Bernstein. I didn't tell him I had a post box toss over there. I wore cut-up jeans, my cowboy boots, and my shirts. That's it. I was who I am. And people out there go out there like Matt goes out there and wears a suit. Oh, yeah, I got an office. Well, they know that's a post office box. They live in freaking Hollywood. Their own on studio, Rodeo Drive. So they got kind of, in my opinion, got sideswiped and got that. And it caused a big delay in it and stuff like that. But it's a good overall movie. It could have been made better. I gave in on one thing that I wish we had done. I've regretted it since day one. I was going to put a fainting goat in it. And there was two things I want to do. I want to put a Tennessee fainting goat. Any loud sound, they just fall over and their legs go up there.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're going to do that, and we're going to have Russell carrying a chicken. His name was going to be Pecker. So everywhere he went on the baseball field, he's going to set that rooster there. And at the end of the movie, we're going to show Jason, the blonde-headed guy, and Rock sitting there eating chicken and roasted a goat. And everybody's going to go crazy and go, no. And then they bought it at the store. It wasn't the same one stuff.
Yeah.
And then we had a nude scene. We played a joke on somebody. I won't say who it was. Very attractive girl. But she had to come up topless, sitting on somebody's shoulders in a pool. 22 years old, very healthy, beautiful girl. And so we went and told her, this is all a joke. We went and told her, hey, look, we're going to do this. She was non-sagger. We couldn't do it. We're going to do it. It's going to be close. All of those people necessary will be here. So she got her, I always give them a robe, a woman to walk them out and stuff. So she's sitting there not thinking nothing. So she takes her robe off, slides in the water, and she's getting ready. She's got her back to us. We called everybody down. Neighbors, people that had nothing to do with the film. I mean, there's people lined up behind the camera. And there's like 500,000 people. And eyes going, we're going, okay, ready, action! You know, so you play practical jokes to break tension and stuff. There's the competitive nature comes through in the indie world, especially.
Yeah.
Union world, it doesn't because they got their place fixed. They're going to get paid. The truck driver gets paid $1,500 a day. When he moves that truck, you got to hire him for 7 days. If that truck don't move, you still pay him $1,500 a day. When you do it through an indie world, like what you're talking about, guerrilla shooting, people kind of, okay, Wilky raised all this money. I've got this project. Hey, Wilky, will you look at this project? But, you know, it's always kind of behind the back. And I don't like it. I don't know. You do that, I'm out. You know, I'm out.
What would you say about film? Oh, no, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just wondering, like on that note, like in terms of that sort of approach and things and different ways of doing things between indie and unions and all that kind of thing. What would you say about film festivals? What would you be your advice about that?
Fantastic. I think if you choose the right ones, uh, the guy I put you in touch with, you're gonna have a great interview coming up. Vinny from East Tennessee, I sent
Yeah,
you about the heart. Him
yeah,
and Big Luke, uh, they got into it. And I've helped them out and give them leads and stuff. And
yeah,
let's say you make a B movie instead of an A movie, and it's a horror film and stuff like that. Then what you do, you don't just enter film festivals. You select film festivals.
exactly.
Because you select the ones where you think you got a chance going, and smaller ones want you to go, and they want you to win something so that you come there and walk their red carpet. That means you're going to win a best director, best photography, best something, best actor, best blah blah blah. Well, they did that, and they racked up all kind of things for the movie. Best this, best in Dog Festival here, best in Belgium, best in all kind of stuff. It would have made it at Sundance, for example. So it's a level, but it also it's not just getting there. It's what's the word I'm looking for? When we all come together for meetings and stuff. A mixer. It's like a mixer. You ever been to a mixer? Y'all have those over there?
A mystery.
It's called a mixer. Mixer.
Oh right, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
We used to have them in Nashville, and I'd invite somebody from Hollywood down or
yeah.
whoever to speak, and they'd come in, and we would pack a restaurant, and I would invite industry people and people. I don't mean this to sound bad, but under me that didn't have the experience and that would have never had a chance. I would invite them in and give them one-on-one time with those people, so they might learn something. And we would pack that place. Well, that's what a festival's kind of like. You go and boom. I went to one in California, and that's where I first saw the Red Camera when it first come out.
Yeah.
And Steven Spielberg gave a speech on it, and we got to go watch them operate it. They handpicked about 20 of us. So I got to go sit and watch them. And the problem with, first, for example, people don't know this, the problem with the Red Camera was it's this big now, but when it was built, it was about this big, and it would overheat.
Yeah.
They literally shot to the opening scene. I'm sorry, not the opening scene, but the railroad scene in There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis. They shot that scene on the red, and they had to put an ice bag on top of the camera. Now, 2 years later, by the time they got it fixed and got it here, we was the first ones to use it in Nashville. There's a picture on my internet page, on my Facebook page. You see us all standing around looking at it. We were just amazed we had one.
Yeah.
They solved the problem. And so I would have never got that opportunity if I hadn't gone to the festival. Go, support them, do something. I have recently, have you ever heard of 48-Hour Film Festival?
Yeah.
It's worldwide.
Yeah.
But you can buy territories.
Yeah.
I bought the territory in West Tennessee from Nashville all the way to Memphis.
Wow.
So we're going to start the 48-Hour Film Festival here to help young people.
Perfect.
And there's I forget how many people live in our area, but you can enter this film festival here. And I'll be able to have celebrity judges and stuff like that, and that's what you want.
Yeah.
So that when you come here, you get that experience. And it benefits the town, it benefits the people. And when they see how film benefits something, they support it. When you're going to shoot a guerrilla shoot like you're talking about, we got hired to do one called Hanky from New York to Florida that never made it. But we got to do all the scouting and stuff. It's about a bum who travels he's dying of cancer, wants to get back to his home state and die on the beach. No, Lucy, that's my dog. As we did it, we would notify, David would go out in front of us and notify communities what were coming through. If you do that, you'll find so many people that will help you, because the number one thing we live off of that we need, ice, water, and this is another one you won't believe till you've done it, bananas.
Exactly. Couldn't put it better myself.
Ice, water, bananas in my van, but I'm going to kiss you on the lips. Because as you're guerrilla shooting, you're grabbing that water, you're grabbing that banana, and you're eating that stuff. And okay, guys, we're going to be stopping here, and you're jumping out. And it's only 6 or 7 of you jumping out. We had a bum that was playing, he's playing a bum. We want to get some street shots here, guys. Jump out. We let them know we was coming. We didn't have any problems. We needed permits. We needed whatever. And then restaurants will feed you. Come on, they'll feed you. You can get sponsorships and stuff like that. And it doesn't matter if it's just food. If a Domino's pizza or Papa John's wants to give everybody pizzas, do it. And then what I did was Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel gave us free coupons, and no matter where we went, we could eat a Cracker Barrel. So you may get a free meal in Nashville, but those coupons were good all the way to Florida. And that helps you with your budget. And every dollar that helps you with your food budget, you can shift it into your camera equipment, or you can shift it into an extra wardrobe, or whatever. So when you guerrilla shoot, the producer really has to be doing a job of he's micromanaging the dough that's going to make that pizza. The director has a job. His job is to try to get as much money out of me as he can so he can get that shot he wants from an aerial shot.
Brilliant.
So he's going to be perfect all the time. My job is to knead that dough and see if we can't get some dough to it. And I love guerrilla shooting with the right team.
With the right team, yeah.
You guerrilla shoot, if you're going to do it right, everybody has to know their job. And it's better to have one person that you pay a little bit to than having three people that's going to help you for free unless they have tons of experience.
Yeah.
You will not get it done. It will not look good. You'll not be happy with it. And once it's shot, if you're guerrilla shooting, that's telling me you're on a budget of a certain amount. You can't fix that when you get to editing bay. When you're guerrilla shooting and you're out there, Matt, and you're going to be shooting, let's say, there in Ireland somewhere, you think, man, I'd love to have if you ever say, man, I'd love to have that shot, just do that shot. Because when you do, you'll get back to bay, man, I should have got that shot. You want a lot more shots, you want a lot more left on the floor than you do on your film.
Exactly.
And the other thing is, and this just drives me crazy with indie people. They'll use camera people that's got some experience, but they don't do you have to have what's called production shots. Matthew makes a film. His production shot is he comes over to Matt. We see him, and he comes from here. We see the cows, and we see the beautiful mountains, and suddenly there's Matt. And we zoom in on him like this, and then Matt starts to talk. Starts to top that mountain, come down at an angle. These movements, left, right, diagonal, like this, or straight up now, crossword stuff is easy to do. Diagonal shots are production shots. You can diagonal it from the corner down and then smooth it out. You can diagonal it out like this. Move your camera in a way that's not normal.
Yeah. Makes
set point. And the other thing is they don't get tone. To get tone, everywhere you go, without exception, every new location you go to has a different tone. You can't hear it, but your microphones pick it up.
Yeah.
So what you do is, when everybody gets through shooting, are we done? Okay, everybody be quiet. I need 1 minute of tone. Everybody's real quiet, and you just hold the microphone up there. So that when you get to editing bay, and I'm editing what you're saying right now, there's a certain tone, and I have to edit it and put this one together. I can take the sound out of the background and take that 1 minute tone and put over it. It smooths it out.
Perfect.
It's a little detail.
Definitely. And
you're shooting 27, 28 frames a second too. Every frame matters. You're only as good as your worst shot that you let in there. You're only as good as the worst actor you have on there.
It is a machine. It is a machine. It is a machine. That is an example too that you are as good as the worst actor on the set. You are as good as the worst the worst camera assistant or assistant grip or whatever. So I think those are wise words. I really do. And certainly I think as well for someone like me.
Have you ever shot, Matt? Have you produced or shot anything?
As a teenager, so it's sort of one of those things that, I'm making a documentary, I'm editing it right now. You may have seen a production or a promotional poster of it's Mothman.
Right.
Yeah, the film that never was. Are you familiar with Doug TenNapel?
The what?
Doug TenNapel, the animator.
I don't think so.
Earthworm Jim. He did a cartoon called Earthworm Jim. He made a movie, never came out, and it's about, well, why didn't it come out, that kind of thing. And so far at the moment it's just podcasting, and the documentaries are in the works, including that one, which is nearly done. Good. Yeah, I'm
gonna tell you, I enjoy documentaries. I've got one I'm working on them for baseball.
Yeah.
We did a boxing documentary but I think pound for pound the best boxer who ever lived, Jackie Beard.
Yeah.
Amateur boxer. But we got to interview, Jimmy Carter and Peter Ubroff, baseball commissioner out in California and places like that. And I loved it. But those documentaries, a guy named Stan Armstrong, who's full Cherokee, he teaches at the University of Las Vegas. Yeah, Las Vegas. And he does his documentaries and never leaves his editing bay. He does stuff on the native tribes and stuff like that, and pulls up films and buys stuff from Getty's Images and stuff. And they turn out, they're not history, the main channel worthy, but they're probably history, the second channel worthy. And I find them interesting because I like documentaries. I did one on Machine Gun Kelly, for example.
Yeah.
So I love documentaries because I like to think about stuff. But I tell people all the time, when you do it, Hal Holbrook also told me this. or Dixie one, I can't remember. She said, "Don't dumb your film or your message down. Treat the person who's watching your film as if they're educated." A lot of independent people want to say, "Well, what if they don't get this?" But don't dumb it down. Do not dumb your message down. Assume it. Go with it. And be creative. When you get done and you think you're done, walk away from. I used to walk away from my editing bay. Chris Neal would be editing. I'd walk away and say, "Well, let me just have a day or two." I'd go out and forget about it and come back. We'll go. What if we cut this in as a frame and we entered here and instead of we hear them but we don't see them yet. We're showing the last scene but we hear their voices and then they come in. Little things like that can make a big production difference and it can make a difference in your feelings.
Exactly. And you interviewed Jimmy Carter for that documentary on the baseball one. You interviewed Jimmy Carter, like President Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
Wow.
We went through the process to meet him and stuff. Got down and he was in such bad health. I got that footage from Getty's. It was actually NBC footage, but he stopped us from going to the Olympics in 1980, and the captain of the boxing team was Jackie Beard.
Yeah.
Well, Jackie Beard lives right here in my hometown. I know him personally. So we did that interview with him, and you can't understand what he's doing. And people loved it. Peter Ubroff loved it. And Peter Ubroff, we had to go to Pebble Beach in California, one of the best golf courses on the planet. And he's a brilliant man. I got to interview him. Dwight Stone, who was in the Olympics in 72 or 76, I can't remember. So I love it. I've been wanting to do one about Ireland. I say everything I see on Ireland, I say little interesting facts. I do a lot of research behind it because you got your legend.
Yeah.
Then you got your facts. And sometimes it's best to tell both of them. Legend has it that, Matt did this and Matt did that. And the facts say he did this. So somewhere in there, that legend did it grow or did the legend come from this? I love stuff like that.
You should definitely do a documentary or a fictional film in Ireland because I remember, when I was watching Father's Rights, I remember those shots of the, outside the house, showing the lovely green grass there in Tennessee. And I can imagine, you filming all these years later now, something in Ireland showing like the beautiful countryside and the city. And, I could just picture it. And yeah, you'd be good at that. I think that's a project that'd be amazing.
And the thing I've come to rely on a lot that I did a few years back, equipment costs went down through the bottom. You can rent a really good camera. I can get a really good camera for $2,700 for 2 weeks. Hollywood's, but these GoPros, I probably got 10 on my here. Some of them ain't even opened. And then you can get aerial shots.
Exactly.
I used to pay $1,000 a day for the crane and $1,500 for the operator to get 2 shots during the day.
Yeah.
$2,500. Like, what the heck?
It's amazing.
We needed that shot.
That Mothman thing filmed completely on just my iPhone 13 with a microphone with a windshield. I mean, yeah. There you go.
Matt, if you don't mind, how old are you?
26.
All right, so you never have dealt with film, then, have you? They quit making the cameras. The camera quit being made in 2000.
Oh yeah.
And film was for that. But I've got some friends who love 8mm and 16mm, and when you get film, you freeze it.
Yeah.
And they got boxes and box freezers and stuff with film on it, and they shoot on that 8mm. They love the feel of it. It does have a different sense to it, but the editing stuff that we can use as independent people now has gotten so close to being able that lighting is not an issue anymore.
Yeah.
Because you can do so much in your editing bay. And you can, when you get done, you compress all your stuff together. You can do a film overlay and give it a different texture, different feeling and stuff. So we're so close. Used to, we had to have China balls and lights. And,
Exactly.
That's why when I learned it, we'd go, okay, our budget is $2 and we really need $4. How do we do it? How do we get this done, guys? Let's sit down and plan it. Call my lighting guy in here, call my DP in here, and that's it. And they said, how are we going to light this thing? They said, well, China balls. Okay, well, that's pretty cheap. We lit that courtroom with China balls and Father's Rights. That's all China balls.
That's all China balls. Wow.
And that way you could take the bulb out and make it a yellowish, not quite yellow, but kind of faded yellow. And it gave it that glow, that warmth feeling. You want a warmth in there at certain times,
Yeah. They did that a lot in the Stanley Kubrick film Eyes Wide Shut. They use a lot of those for Nicole Kidman's scenes when it was all blue. Have you seen that film?
I have.
Yeah, what did you think of it? It's a controversial one.
Remember, Renee gave me, and I've misplaced it now. I can't remember the name of the book, but it's the history of Hollywood, and it tells you here's the question I ask everybody in film: is the students at school? And nobody has ever gotten this question right. Nobody, in 22 years.
I'm not going to get it
What
right.
was the
I'm not
what
going
was
to.
the first color? Your viewers will be watching. Don't Google it, guys. What's the first color film that was ever made?
Wizard of Oz?
No, that's a good guess. Everybody says good. Everybody says that or Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind was almost number one. It's a film called Robin Hood with Errol Flynn.
Okay.
It came out, was the first Technicolor, is what they called it back then.
Yeah.
And this book had that fact in it. It had how John Ford shot the first Western movement with cameras started in 27. How did he make that? It amazed people that the camera could follow those horses. They said, how did you do that? It had never been done before. You know, and the Steadicam.
Yeah.
Until the 70s, we didn't have a Steadicam.
Exactly.
And you know who got that started was a guy who made a film called The Air Up There, Dwight Sweeney. It was about the guy. No, it was Cutting Edge. Cutting Edge was Dwight Sweeney about ice skaters who were past their prime of a guy and a girl. And Paul Glacier did that.
Yeah.
He wanted to be able to follow the skates on ice, and no one had anybody doing it. So he actually took roller skates and boards and stuff with this thing. He said, let's keep it steady with the camera. So they started developing it. It became a Steadicam.
Yeah,
You know,
and
before that, it was head rails. You know?
Dario Argento. Yeah, exactly.
How do you get in our business? And a lot of people do. And I'm not telling anybody that they're right and I'm wrong, or they're wrong and I'm wrong, or I'm wrong and they're right. Whatever I'm trying to say. But do it your way. But how do you get in our business and take it serious if you don't know the history?
Yeah.
If you don't know how did acting start? What was the first film? What was this? When did they get black and white? What's residuals mean? How come the Alfalfa and Spanky and all the young rappers didn't get any money? They were broke. How come the studios made it? How come studios own people? Lucille Ball changed that. When you know these things, because what we know on the field is one thing. When you start dealing with people that's old school, they love that you know the behind-the-scene history of it.
Exactly.
So if you want to take it serious, learn the history of what we do, and know what everybody's job is. You know,
it's like the history of a nation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point.
If you look at your documentary on the history of Ireland, you'd want to know the history of Ireland.
Yeah.
You know what's it done? Because if not, you're going to mess something up somewhere, and you may learn one factor. But I tell people all the time, if you learn one thing, you've not wasted your time. If I put you with Matt, he's worked. Okay, Will Smith is the best key grip in the business. He just retired. You can see his happy birthday on my page, and he's got a handlebar mustache. He's a nut, liberal nut, but I love him to death. He did Waterworld with Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
That was shot in a studio, a warehouse in Canada, not on the ocean. He helped build the scenes. He did Jack Black. He's got a list of 5,000 films. He's Days of Thunder, all that stuff. He's done it all, and so he is one of them that I've learned to. So I call him to this day. There's still things I learned from him. If I put you with him for a day and you learn one thing, I'm telling you that one thing will make your film one step better than this guy you're competing against. Because don't think it's in a competition. When you go out to these festivals, or you're going out, if you're going to if you want to make a film, the first thing you need is a good script.
Yeah.
Whether it's film, short, you got to have a plan. Then you have to have a budget. How are you going to do this? How many days is it going to take you? It's got to be a day of days. Put that together. Information on you. Who's on your team? Well, you may not have them hired yet, but you've spoken to Jane Doe about UPM and this person about DP. All right, how much money do you need? You take that package and you present it to an investor. And when you got names they can look up like Will Smith, Paul Glacier, Benet Valente, Howard Bernstein, they go, and you always put your presentation in a red folder. Because everybody else is going to use blue, green, vanilla, whatever. Red's going to stick out in that stack. They're going to look at it.
Yeah.
Don't have any spellings. Don't have anything wrong. Have your intentions right. Because it has to go through about 7 people before it gets to the person's hands it needs to.
Well,
they love them.
Wilky, it's brilliant advice, I must say. All of this, even down to the folder you have in the, you know, it's brilliant, and I just really appreciate it. For me, particularly as a very not the most technically inclined person, it's brilliant to hear on a personal level, and for other people it will be too. And I put this out there on YouTube and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, it really will. So thank you so much. I just think it's brilliant. And any sort of projects you'd like people to be aware of that are coming up? You mentioned the
I'll tell you 2 things. First of all, I'm gonna put you in touch with a few more people.
Sure.
And some of these are not indie; they're people out of Hollywood. And as far as what I've got coming up, I'll send you a link Monday or Tuesday to the project we got going on.
Cool.
What we're trying to do is this animation on this comic, but we're also trying to create a indie-friendly, not production site, but distribution site with knowledge of what we've learned, the do's, the don'ts, and it's all taken with a grain of salt because it can work 100 times and fail the 101st time. You don't know. So you have to try it. Advice that we're giving, and it's coming from people out of LA and Hollywood, people that's bigger than us, much bigger than us, and learn what we're doing. So I'll send all that information you can post as you need, but our information will be sent directly to you. And if you want to share it and people want to help us out and share it, great. We're going to be raising money for the animation deal, which we think we've got a home run. I mean, the artwork's unbelievable. I don't know if you've seen it on my page. It's the Hog DeLacy, who done all the DC comics in the 90s, the Superman and Batman. He does our artwork for us. So it's top notch. It's not second level. It's best.
Yeah.
So I'll send that to you. And then after that, all thing I'm working on is I've got an idea to shoot in Montana, a TV show.
Nice.
And, but my health is just going to let me get out and get dope. I spent 3 years basically on my back until I was going to die.
Oh,
so I was told one time I had 4 months. One time I was on the way through the weekend. And then as soon as I got well, I got cancer, and they said, that's going to kill you, and I beat that. So I beat 2 diseases. I had less than 2% chance of living. And so I told my girlfriend from high school, I said, I think the only thing that's going to kill me is cooties. I kissed her, I think, when I was 16 years old. I said, if you had cooties, that's probably the only thing that's going to kill me. I survived everything else. So I'm now healthy. I'm back up to 195 pounds. I went from 210 to 140.
Yeah.
Couldn't walk. And now I'm healthy as a horse.
You're a strong man. So, you're a strong man.
I don't know who believes in God, but God has plans for me. He would have took me for some reason. Either there, he's got me here to torture me with all these projects. But I'll tell you what my focus is, Matt. It's teaching.
Yeah.
Helping people. I don't care if they give me credit. I don't care nothing. My name ain't got to appear on nothing. I want to be sitting somewhere watching a movie with somebody and go, Matt shot this movie. And I go, and I watch everybody go, man, they love that movie. And I don't care if my name ever shows up. I think you don't lift people by trying to feed everybody. You lift people in our group, our family. You lift one person up, you can pull a lot of people up with them. So, and there's going to always be those people grabbing our ankles.
Yeah.
So anybody I can help and talk to, that's what interests me. I ignore 99% of your emails, people like you that send me stuff. I get it all the time, all the freaking time. And I've answered 2 in about 6 months, and you're one of them. I want people young like you who's hungry for the knowledge, hungry for the stuff, and willing to spread it.
Yeah.
Willing to spread it. I always be honest. I always treat people with honor. You ain't got to agree with them. I don't agree with a lot of my partners. They're Democrats, liberals. I'm conservative Republican. And we argue, but we just love each other to death. We can argue behind the scenes. You work for me, you can call me in the door here and say, I don't like it. You can call me everything but a white boy, and I'll buy you beer afterwards. You better not do it after on that set. So
exactly.
You've watched some interviews about us. You know all about us. If you have anything you want to know, you let me know. I'll send you an email the first part of the week. I've enjoyed talking to you. I enjoy your stuff.
Likewise.
I wish you luck in all you're doing, that you'll post more. Keep me updated. If you ever need me or anybody I know, or you need a contact, let me know.
That's definitely.
I'm going to try to find somebody old school for you to talk to.
Thank you so much. And
I've got a guy who used to be Johnny Carson's agent.
Whoa.
He's my literary agent, David Kramer.
Yeah.
And now he's older. But he's still got it up here, and he's brilliant. He's funny as hell, and he can tell you a lot of stories. Our industry is not just about learning stuff; it's hearing stories from that, because you will learn from those.
Yeah.
You'll listen, and he can tell you stuff that's and the thing is, once you meet him, if you need something from him, you'll have his email address. Exactly. He's the one who hooked me up with Peter Ubroff.
There you go.